Hello everybody, I thought might as well cover some topics from your syllabus and help guide you if you're interested in learning along with me. So I've taken a look at your syllabus and I've seen that it begins with all the anatomical vocabulary that you have to know, which is quite, I think it's easy, it can be confusing, but there's so many resources that you can depend on for that. Didn't want to go over it. I wanted to jump into the real things. Classification of bones. We can classify them structurally, and they're of 4 to 5 types. First, the long bone, then comes the short bone, the flat bone, the irregular bone, and the pneumatic bone. I don't really focus on studying this one because I think the rest are just enough. But we can explain it even more when we reach that. So long bones. The long bones, when he tells you, describe, let's say, the humerus is a type of a long bone. So that's what you should start saying about the humerus. He needs to know a general information, and starting by the type of this bone as a long bone is enough for you to give him a general idea. The long bone, for example, is made up of a bone marrow, and it has red bone marrows on the sides. It is also made up of a shaft and 2 epiphyses. These are separated from the shaft by the, I think, the epiphyseal plates. Okay, they're mainly used for, they articulate at their edges with other bones, or they can give a structural support or weight-bearing functions. The short bone is mainly, from its name, is short. It doesn't have a shaft. It can be found in the hand and the foot, and characteristics is that they limit movements, so they also resist the forces that act on it. In the hands and the foot, there are most of the body structures that are exposed to so many forces. The structure of a short bone, as it's written here, doesn't have a shaft. It's made up of cancellous bone and compact bone on the outside. Flat bones, they're found mainly in the skull, the scapula, and the sternum. And here what we can know about flat bones is that they protect structures within, such as the brain, for example. It's surrounded by so many flat bones. Alright, irregular bones. Irregular bones are made up of a weird structure, an irregular structure or a shape found in the hip bone or vertebrae. When you're going to study for the hip bone, for example, you have ilium, ischium, and pubis, and you'll see why they're irregular, because they have irregular shapes. Okay, and then the pneumatic bones. These bones are mainly found in the nose, and you will get to study about them in details. I think, I don't know an example of it. Maybe it's just written here. Maybe the bones of the vomer or the bones like lacrimal or something like that. I think those bones are pneumatic. So yes, so this is the end of the video. These are the classifications structurally of the bones, and you should always have in your mind, let's say, an example of each of the following. Let's say if he tells you, give me an example of short bone, you're able to do that. A flat bone or an irregular bone or a long bone. He can test you either way on whether to say what is a long bone, give me an example, or he can say the humerus, what type of bone is it? Is it long, short, flat, irregular? In this case, it's long. Okay, just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. I will try my best to cover all the topics on your syllabus, and I hope I can get you guys to put on your questions on the Zoom call that I'll be carrying. These are spaces for you to just have a chat with me on Zoom, and I can be there to answer all your doubts and questions. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully.